AITA for sending that selfie to confirm which bed my wife claimed she meant? Imagine coming home a day earlier than planned, finding the house empty, and texting your wife asking where she is. She replies, "I'm in our bed." You are literally staring at the empty bed. What do? Scream? Call her furious? Spencer chose the most lethal option. He took a selfie with the empty bed in the background and asked, "In this bed?" But that was just the first step. What followed wasn't a couple's fight, but a tactical operation that involved family, friends, and even the lover's wife, culminating in a surprise party that none of those present will ever forget. If you like seeing the truth prevail over gaslighting, get ready, because Spencer Hale gave a masterclass in dignity and strategy. The garage door was ajar, as if someone hadn't quite finished the job. It was shortly after 1 a.m. I sat in my rental car for a moment, the engine ticking as it cooled, staring at that gap. No light on the porch, no sound. The neighborhood seemed normal, quiet, with that damp cold you get outside Seattle. Sleeping houses, that kind of calm that used to make me feel safe. Brooke's SUV wasn't in the garage or on the street. I hadn't warned her I was coming back early. The conference ended a day earlier than expected, and I convinced myself it would be a good idea, a nice surprise. Also, to be honest, I needed to test something. The last few months had been a slow freeze. Fewer conversations, less laughter, less everything, as if we were just roommates with a mortgage to pay off. I turned off the car lights, grabbed my bag carefully, and walked up the driveway. The door was open just enough to make me feel like an idiot for thinking this meant anything. Inside, the house was dark. I didn't turn on a single light. I walked through the entryway, past the kitchen, and went down the hall. Our bedroom door was open, the bed was made. No Brooke, not her favorite throw blanket, not the glass of water. No, I fell asleep watching something. Just empty space and clean sheets, like a photo in a furniture catalog. I stood there, listening to the silence, and did the simplest thing in the world. I sent her a message. "Hey, are you home?" The answer came fast. "Too fast, Brooke." "Sure. I'm in bed." I looked at the bed, looked at the darkness, looked at my phone again, as if it could suddenly confess the truth on its own. I didn't call. I didn't start a fight. I didn't type a paragraph. I opened my camera, took a selfie with the empty bed behind me, and sent it. "In this bed." Just that. No extra words, no drama. The typing bubble appeared, disappeared, appeared again, then nothing. I put my phone on the dresser and waited. Not pacing back and forth, not stomping with anger. Waiting, like a man watching a clock. If I had known where this was going, I would have slept in the guest room and saved myself the headache. But I still had a stubborn piece of hope left. And hope makes you do dumb things in silence. 20 minutes later, the front door slammed so hard it made the pictures in the hallway shake. Brooke came in as if she had been chased. "Are you kidding me?" she shouted before even reaching the bedroom door. "Couldn't you send a text? Couldn't you let me know you were coming home?" She turned on the lights and looked at me as if I were the problem, standing in my own house. I stayed where I was. "You told me you were in bed." Her eyes jumped for a split second. Then she went straight back to anger, as if it were safer than thinking. "I was," she insisted. I was about to be. What is this? Some weird prank." I grabbed my phone and held it out with the screen facing her. "You said, 'Sure, I'm in bed.'" That wasn't true. She threw up her hands. "My God, Spencer, stop. I was at Kay's house." "Kay's?" I repeated. "Yes," she said too quickly. "I fell asleep there. We were talking and it got late, and I didn't want to wake you up with a silly text. Didn't want you to worry." I stared at her for a long second. Her hair was slightly messy. It wasn't the messiness from the wind outside. Her coat was open, even though it was cold. She was breathing as if she had run a sprint. I nodded once, slowly. "Does that make sense?" She blinked. Just that, I said. Her face went tense, as if she expected a fight and didn't know what to do without one. "Well," she retorted, "you're welcome for the surprise, I guess. You come home like a detective." I gave her a calm look. "Go to sleep, Brooke. You look tired." She rolled her eyes and walked past me toward the closet. "You are unbelievable." I watched her rifle through the clothes on the hangers as if she were looking for an excuse. She didn't look at me again, didn't try to hug me, didn't ask how my trip was. She just wanted control back, and I let her think she had it, because the only thing I needed in that moment was a simple fact. She had lied smoothly, in real time, while I was standing in an empty room. That wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't a communication problem. That was a choice. And when someone lies that well, they don't stop. They just get better at it. I waited until she locked herself in the bathroom and turned on the shower. Then I went out to the living room. That was when I saw the watch. It was right there on the coffee table as if it had a reserved spot. Heavy, expensive, with a shiny dial catching the dim streetlight. It wasn't mine. It wasn't anything I would ever buy. The kind of thing a man wears when he likes people to notice his wrist. I didn't touch it at first, just looked. A year ago, Brooke had dragged me to a dinner for her company. Her boss was there, Gordon Vance. Loud handshake, expensive smile. The kind of guy who calls everyone buddy while doing math in his head. I remembered his watch because it didn't match his suit. It was exaggerated, as if he wanted you to know exactly how much his life cost. That watch was the same kind of exaggeration, same shape, same signature band. I picked it up carefully and turned it over. There was a small scratch near the clasp. I remembered that scratch. I put it back in place and exhaled through my nose. Not in shock, nor in sadness. In clarity. So, someone had been in my house so recently, so close to my marriage, that he had left a piece of himself on my table, like a cigarette butt. I went back to the hallway and heard the shower running. Then I went to the kitchen, found a small box in a drawer, and calmly placed the watch inside. Not like a trophy, like leverage. I slid the box to the back of a drawer where Brooke never looked and went to bed without saying another word. Tomorrow arrived as if nothing had happened. Brooke moved around the kitchen in a robe, scrolling through her phone with that casual half-smile she had started using lately, the one that disappeared the second I got within 5 feet. She poured coffee, but didn't offer me any. I poured mine and leaned against the counter. She looked up. "So you came back early." "The conference ended," I replied. She murmured as if this were slightly inconvenient. "Must be nice." I took a sip. "Are you going out today?" "Yes," she said, turning her back. "It's a sister's day. Shopping, lunch, the usual." "Your sister's," I repeated, as if confirming an appointment. "I'm staying home." She didn't look at me. I nodded again. "I placed an order yesterday. It's supposed to arrive today. Someone needs to be here to receive it." She finally looked up, annoyed. "Why would you do that without telling me?" I shrugged. It was a good deal. She rolled her eyes. "Spencer, I already have plans." "I'm not asking you to cancel your day," I replied. "Just be back by 6, in case they need a signature." Her mouth opened, as if she wanted to argue. Then she closed it again and forced a smile. "All right, 6. Was that it? A free window, a promise, a version of reality where she believed I was still the same guy, trusting and a bit behind the beat. She slammed the mug on the counter with a bang. "Besides, next time maybe let your wife know you're coming home like a normal person." I met her gaze. "Next time, I'll consider that." She smiled with superiority, as if she had scored a point. "Great." I watched her walk away, confident, comfortable, still thinking she was in charge. The first move I made wasn't loud. It was logistical. When she left the house, I didn't sit around eating myself up. I grabbed my keys and drove to my friend Hector's auto shop. Hector is the kind of guy who doesn't ask for a novel. He hears the tone in your voice and opens the gate. He looked up from under a truck and wiped his hands. "Look who survived a work trip." "Barely," I replied, entering. The smell of oil and metal hit me like a reset button. "Are you busy?" "Always," he said. "What's up?" I leaned on the counter. "I need a place to store something, and I need your opinion on whether I'm being played for a fool." Hector raised an eyebrow. "That's a 2-part request. What are we talking about?" I took out my phone, scrolled to the selfie I sent Brooke, and showed him the timestamp. Then I told him the short version. Empty bed, confident lie, watch on the coffee table. Hector whistled, but didn't make jokes. He just shook his head slowly, as if he were fitting the pieces together. "It doesn't look like you're being paranoid," he said. "It looks like you arrived late to the party." "I'm not interested in a fight," I told him. "I'm interested in the truth showing up without me needing to beg for it." Hector leaned back. "So you're setting a trap." "I'm setting the stage," I corrected. "Big difference." He smiled. "Look at you, Mr. Suburban Theater." I gave him a serious look. "I'm not laughing." "Neither am I," he said, his tone shifting. "What do you need?" I took the small box out of my coat. "Keep this for me. If something happens and I need it, you are my backup." Hector took it, felt the weight, and his eyes narrowed. This isn't yours. No. He nodded once. All right. It's with me. I exhaled. I also need a favor. Tonight. Hector looked amused now. Finally going to throw a party. Something like that, I replied. And I need discretion. No gossip. Hector tapped the counter. Spencer, I fix cars. I don't host reality shows. I'm not asking you to host, I said. I'm asking you to be available. If I call, you come without questions. Hector studied me for a moment, then nodded. I'll come. That right there was uncharted territory for me, his shop, his space. And I didn't go there to cry. I went there to lock in support and remove any chance of me doing something stupid alone. On the way back, I made the calls that mattered. First, Brooke's parents, Ray and Joanne. They're the kind of people who still send thank you cards and think marriage is a sacred contract. They always liked me. Part of me hated what I was about to do to the image they had of their daughter. But I didn't create this problem. I was just tired of protecting it. Ray answered, Spencer, is everything okay? Everything is fine, I replied in that calm voice. Nothing to see here. I want to do something nice for Brooke, a little surprise tonight. She's been doing some volunteer work lately, and I want to celebrate her. Joanne came on speakerphone, already excited. Oh, that is so sweet. It's going to be low-key, I said. Just family, some friends. I want you guys to be there around 6. Park on the street below and come in through the back. No lights, no knocking. You are making an effort, Ray laughed softly. I'm trying, I replied. It's going to mean a lot to her. We'll be there, said Joanne, happy. What can we bring? Just yourselves, I said, and keep it a secret. Next, her sisters, Kendra and Morgan. Kendra is sharp and suspicious by default. Morgan is the excited one who thinks everyone is doing their best. 2 different worlds. Kendra answered first. Spencer, what's the catch? No catch, I replied. Surprise for Brooke. Today at 6, back gate. Kendra paused. Why do I feel like you're lying? I didn't waver. Because you assume everyone has an ulterior motive. She snorted. Fair. What's the surprise? A celebration of her hard work. Morgan screamed when she got the text. Oh my God, she's going to cry. I hope it's the good kind, I replied. Then, I called 2 of Brooke's close friends. Leighton, yes, that Leighton, and a woman named Mira. Mira is direct in a way that makes people straighten their posture. Leighton is Leighton. Always smiling, always busy, always full of soft excuses. Mira answered. Spencer, what's going on? A surprise thing for Brooke, I said. Today at 6. Discreet entrance. Mira's tone got sharper. Why do you sound like you're reading a script? I smiled slightly. Because I don't want you to improvise. Mira laughed once. All right, I'm in. Leighton answered with a breathless and overly sweet air. Hi. As if we were old friends. Hi, I replied. Quick thing. I'm throwing a surprise for Brooke tonight. Family, friends, 6 p.m., back gate. Oh wow, she said. How lovely. Park on the street below, I added. No lights, no text to her. Leighton laughed. Sure, your secret is safe. I ended the call and stared at my phone for a second. The irony almost made me laugh. Almost. Now the final call, the one that turned a suspicion into a closed loop. Celeste Vance answered on the 3rd ring. Her voice was polite, professional, the kind you use when you don't know if the call is from a telemarketer. Hello. Hi, I said. Celeste, this is Spencer Hale, Brooke's husband. A pause. Then warmth. Oh, hi. Yes, of course. How are you? Good, I replied. Listen, I know this is a bit random, but I'm organizing a little surprise tonight for Brooke. It's kind of a family and friends thing. I wanted to include you because I know work has been a big part of her life lately. Celeste laughed lightly. That is very thoughtful. I also spoke to Gordon, I said, smooth and steady. He's going to be part of it. I'm trying to do a he arrived early moment. A double surprise. Celeste sounded genuinely pleased. Oh my God, he didn't tell me. That's the point, I replied. If you can be here around 6, park on the street below. Come in through the back. It will be impactful. Celeste laughed. That is so cute. Yes, I'll be there. Great, I said. And please, no text to Gordon or Brooke. I want to see their faces when they walk in. Understood, she replied. Spencer, seriously, this is lovely. I'm happy to help. Thank you, I said and ended the call. That was the point of no return for me. Not anger, not tears, just a hard decision becoming real. Because if I were wrong, I would look like a paranoid husband throwing a weird party. And if I were right, the truth would walk through my front door like it paid rent. In the late afternoon, Brooke came home like a woman who believed she had the world organized. She walked in with shopping bags, humming, cheeks flushed from the cold, and immediately started talking as if last night had never happened. "Did your package arrive?" she asked, tossing her keys on the counter. "Not yet," I replied. "Might be late." She looked at the clock. "I'm starving." "There are some appetizers in the fridge," I said. She stopped. "You made snacks?" "Don't get emotional," I replied. "It's just food." She even smiled. A small one, of those that used to mean something. Then she came closer and touched my arm lightly, as if she were testing if I still belonged to her. "That selfie last night," she said, her voice softer. "That was heavy." I didn't move. It was a question. She lowered her gaze. I shouldn't have snapped. I was tired. That was the first illusion. A small apology, a little warmth. Delivered right after she realized I might not be asleep at the wheel. I nodded once. "All right." She leaned in as if she were going to kiss me. Then she stopped, looking at my face, seeking permission. I didn't give it. Her eyes flashed with annoyance again, fast. "So you're still mad?" "I'm not mad," I replied. "I'm paying attention." She pulled away as if my words were rude. "Wow, okay." She walked past me and started looking for plates, hands busy, voice busy, control mode. "What time is this delivery supposed to arrive?" she asked. "Anytime," I replied. Brooke sighed. "So I have to stay here all night?" I kept my voice steady. "You told me you would be back by 6. "And I am," she retorted. "My God, Spencer, you are acting like you're my father." I looked at her. "No, I'm acting like this house is mine too." She stared at me as if she wanted a fight and forced a laugh. "Why are you being so dramatic lately?" "Sure," I replied. She rolled her eyes and grabbed a bottle of sparkling water from the fridge. "Whatever. I'm going to take a quick shower." "Do what you need to," I said. She walked away, and I watched her go, calm as a stone, because the second illusion would come later, bigger, louder, and as fake as the first. Around 6, the backyard started to fill silently. Ray and Joanne arrived first, tiptoeing like teenagers. Joanne hugged me and whispered, "This is lovely, Spencer," as if not noticing my eyes were too steady for romance. Kendra arrived with Morgan and immediately scanned the house like a cop. Kendra walked up to me and murmured, "If this is some kind of intervention, blink twice." I gave her a thin smile. "Just play your part." Mira came next, carrying a small tray of cookies. She looked at me, then at my expression, and her face changed. "This isn't about volunteer work," she whispered. I didn't answer. Mira's jaw went tight. "Do you want me here?" "I want witnesses," I said quietly. Mira nodded once. "Then I'm here." Leighton walked in last, eyes wide, smile glued on. She looked nervous, and for the first time, didn't seem to have a script ready. "Brooke is going to freak out," she whispered. "Probably," I replied. I guided everyone to the back patio. Simple snacks, some sodas, water. Nothing fancy. Everyone scattered. I gave calm instructions. "Stay back here," I told them. "When she comes in, don't rush to the door. Give it a second." Ray chuckled softly. "Are you really planning this?" "Yes," I replied. "I'm tired of improvising." Then, Celeste arrived. She wore a neat coat, hair done, a polite smile. She looked like someone coming to a work-related social event, not a gut punch. She hugged Joanne, greeted Ray with a handshake, and exchanged quick highs with the sisters. Celeste turned to me. "So Gordon is coming too?" "Yes," I replied. "He'll be here on time." Celeste smiled. "He has been so busy lately. I barely see him." I kept my gaze on her. "Tonight we'll clear that up." She laughed lightly, as if I were joking. I wasn't. I went inside and took my position near the hallway, placed so I could see the front door and the glass door to the patio. My phone was in my hand, camera ready. Not for entertainment, for insurance. At 7:28 p.m., I heard the front door unlock. At 7:29, it opened. Brooke walked in first, laughing. It wasn't a small laugh. It was a loose laugh, the kind I hadn't heard in months. Gordon Vance walked in behind her, as if he belonged there. He was tall, well-dressed, confident, and had that relaxed smile men have when they think they are untouchable. His hand was around Brooke's waist, as if it were routine. Brooke didn't pull away. She leaned into him. Okay, she said, still laughing. Just don't make noise. Gordon laughed. Your house is quiet. Relax. They kissed right there in the entryway. Casual. As if they had done this before, as if the walls were used to it. Brooke threw her coat on the sofa. Gordon started unbuttoning his shirt while walking, as if the night had already been decided. That was when I opened the glass door to the patio, hard and fast. The sound cut through the house like a slap. Brooke and Gordon froze. Outside, the backyard was full of people. Joanne had her hands over her mouth. Ray's face was pale and tense. Kendra looked like she wanted to set something on fire. Morgan looked like she couldn't understand what her eyes were showing. Mira's expression was of pure disgust, calm and sharp. Leighton looked like she might faint. And Celeste took a step forward, eyes locked on Gordon, as if her brain refused to accept it. Gordon, she said, her voice thin. Gordon's face went blank so fast, it was almost impressive. His mouth opened, but no sound came out at first. Brooke whispered, "Oh my God," as if she were the one being attacked. Celeste's voice rose. "Gordon, what is this?" Brooke's head snapped in my direction. "Spencer, what the hell is this?" I kept my phone raised, recording, steady as a tripod. Gordon found his voice, in pieces. "Celeste, listen, this isn't." Celeste interrupted him sharply. "No, don't do that. Don't talk to me like I'm an idiot." Brooke moved as if she wanted to run to the bedroom, took 2 steps, then stopped when she saw Kendra staring at her like a judge. Joanne's voice broke. "Brooke, in your house." Brooke's eyes flicked to her mother, then looked away. "Mom, please." Ray spoke, low and heavy. "Don't you, Mom. Please, your way out of this." Brooke turned back to me, anger exploding because shame wasn't working. "You set me up." I nodded once. "You set yourself up." Gordon took a step forward, hands up, trying to control the room. "Spencer, buddy, let's talk." I looked at him as if he were something stuck to my shoe. "Don't call me buddy. You are in my house with your shirt open. You lost the right to be casual." Celeste's eyes were wet now, but her voice was hard. "How long?" Gordon swallowed hard. "Celeste." "How long?" she repeated louder. Brooke intervened desperately. This is being twisted. It's not like that." Kendra laughed once, bitter. "Oh, it's not like that? Because it looks exactly like that." Morgan whispered. "Brooke, why?" Mira didn't whisper. Because she thought she could. Brooke shot a furious look at Mira. "Stay out of this." Mira took a step forward. "Or what? I'm watching you claim everyone is wrong while you are standing in the middle of the evidence." Celeste's gaze went to Brooke. "Did you know he was married?" Brooke's mouth went tight. "I'm not going to talk to you." Celeste's expression changed to something colder. "Of course you won't." Gordon tried again, his voice shaking with fake authority. "Spencer, I'm sorry." I raised a finger. "Stop talking. You are already gone." Gordon blinked. "Excuse me." I pointed to the front door. "Get out of my house." Brooke retorted, "You can't just." I didn't even look at her. "Yes, I can." Gordon looked at Celeste as if he wanted permission to escape. Celeste gave him nothing, just stared, shaking her head as if she were seeing a stranger. Gordon grabbed his coat, his hands clumsy, and walked toward the door. He stopped, turning as if he wanted to save a shred of dignity. I raised my phone slightly. "Keep walking." He left. Brooke stood in the entryway, surrounded by people who loved her, who defended her, who believed in her. Now they just looked at her as if she had changed species. Joanne started crying softly. Ray put an arm around her, his face like stone. Kendra shook her head. "You are unbelievable." Brooke's voice became high-pitched. "You are all acting like I'm a monster." Mira replied, calm and cutting, "No. We're acting like you did something that can't be undone." Celeste wiped her face once, quick and practical. She looked at me. "Thank you," she said, her voice clearer now, though still shaky. I nodded. "You deserve to know." Celeste looked past me, at Brooke, then back to the group. "I'm leaving," she said. "I can't stay here." Ray's voice was low. "We're going too." The backyard emptied slowly, not with gossip, but with a stunned silence. People walking away from a broken image. Brooke stayed inside the house, breathing heavily, eyes wild, trying to find a handle to grab. When the last car left, I went to the patio, sat down, and opened a soda. Just a normal sound on a night that was not normal. Brooke came out a few minutes later, fully dressed now, makeup smudged, hair tied back in a hurry. She looked like she had been in a storm and wanted someone to pay for the weather. She took a step toward me. So this was your plan, to humiliate me. I raised a hand. Not aggressive, not dramatic, just a boundary. She stopped, annoyed. Don't do that. Don't act all calm as if you're some hero. I took a sip, put the can down, and looked at her. You lied to my face last night. Her voice broke. I didn't want you to freak out. Did I freak out? I replied. I adjusted. She scoffed through tears. You are always away. You are married to your job. I shook my head slowly. And you are married to your convenience. Brooke flinched, as if that had hit. She tried again, faster. You don't understand how it's been. I get lonely. I stay here while you travel. My voice was flat. If you wanted something different, you had years to say so clearly. You chose lies. She came closer, her hand trembling. It didn't go too far. It wasn't. I raised my hand again. No. You brought him into our house. Brooke's eyes flashed with anger again, because she could no longer control the room. You planned this. This is sick. I nodded once. What's sick is you thinking you could keep a stable home and a secret life at the same time. She stared at me, and for a second, she looked scared. Not of losing me emotionally, but of losing what I provided. She swallowed hard. And now? I leaned back in the chair. Now you sleep somewhere else. Her mouth opened. You can't just kick me out. I'm not kicking you out, I replied. I'm establishing a rule. You broke the foundation. You don't get to keep the benefits. She laughed bitterly. Wow, are you really doing this? Yes, I said. I am. She stood there, shaking, looking for a crack in me. I gave her none. Before dawn, she left without a note, without a goodbye, just the sound of the front door closing, as if she were still trying to control the last scene. 2 days later, she came back in daylight, as if daylight made things negotiable. I was in the kitchen cleaning the counter. Simple task, simple mind. Brooke walked in carefully, like a visitor. Spencer, she said softly, can we talk? I didn't look up. You can speak. I won't debate. She swallowed hard. I'm changing jobs. The situation with Gordon is complicated. I can't even show my face there. I finally looked at her. Those are consequences, not complications. Her eyes filled with water. I'm embarrassed. You should be, I replied. Not cruel, just precise. She came closer and tried the second illusion. Bigger, heavier, wrapped in sweetness. I made your favorite dinner, she said quickly, pointing to a bag on the counter. I thought we could just sit, like before. No pressure. I'm trying. I stared at the bag, then at her. Are you trying now because everyone saw? Or because you suddenly developed a conscience? Brooke's lips trembled. That's not fair. I shook my head slowly. Fairness went out the door when you lied to me in our bedroom. She took a step forward, trying to take my hand. Please, I'm here. I'm choosing us. I pulled my hand back without any drama, just a clean withdrawal. You chose yourself, I replied. You chose comfort, you chose status. You chose not to get caught. She shivered. So you're just throwing everything away. I shook my head once. No, you threw it away. I'm just cleaning up. Her voice got sharp. So that's it. You're perfect. You never did anything wrong. I gave her a small, tired smile. I'm not perfect. I'm just not a liar. Brooke's face hardened. You're cold. I shrugged. I'm clear. She stared at me as if she wanted to scream, but knew screaming wouldn't work. So she tried the last angle. Is there any chance, she asked carefully, that in the future we could? Regret shows up when consequences are already knocking at the door, I said, my voice calm. Choices happen when no one is looking. She blinked rapidly. Spencer. I nodded once. It's over. Brooke stood there, breathing hard. Then she turned and left without slamming anything. Even she understood the show was over. That afternoon, I rearranged the house as if it were a business decision. I moved her things into the guest room. I packed the photos that didn't seem real anymore into boxes. I changed the lock on the guest room door. I updated my routines not as punishment, but as structure. Hector showed up that night with the box. He put it on the counter and nodded at it. Want to see it again? No, I replied. I've seen enough. Hector leaned in the doorway. Are you okay? I gave him a dry look. Define okay. He smiled. Still standing. Then I'm okay, I replied. A week later, Celeste sent me a short text, no drama. She asked if we could meet for coffee. Public place, during the day. Practical. We sat across from each other at a small table, two adults dealing with the mess other people made. Celeste stirred her coffee once and said, I kept reliving that moment. The instant I saw them, I felt so stupid. I shook my head. You weren't stupid. You were trusting. She nodded. I'm tired. Thank you for not letting him twist it. I didn't do it for revenge, I replied. I did it because I refused to argue with a lie. Celeste gave a small, sad smile. We didn't talk much. We didn't swap sad stories. We didn't pretend we were suddenly best friends. Just two people closing a chapter without begging to reopen it. Months passed. The house became quieter, but also cleaner, emotionally. Without that fog of tension, without laughs on the phone that cut off when I walked in, without living with a woman who looked at me like an obstacle to be managed. Work stabilized. I stopped volunteering for trips that drained me. I bought a pickup truck I actually liked. I started playing casual basketball with Hector and some guys from the neighborhood on Saturdays. Simple things. And eventually, I met someone. Her name was Adrienne. She didn't play games with schedules or her tone of voice. If she had a problem, she said it like an adult. If she wanted to be with me, she showed it with consistency, not with theater. One night, sitting on my own patio, Adrienne rested her head on my shoulder and said, "You are very calm." Like solid. I smiled. I'm not calm. I'm just not confused anymore. As for Brooke, I heard things through the same quiet neighborhood channels that people pretend not to use. She kept bouncing from place to place, having lost the image she worked so hard to protect. Friends stopped answering her calls. Her family kept their distance. The comfort she tried to maintain while living a double life didn't survive the daylight. And I didn't celebrate that. I didn't need to. My closure was simple. She wanted to keep the house, the husband, the reputation, and the secret, all at the same time. I made her have to choose, and when she lost control, I didn't scream. I just closed the door and kept my life. Comment. What truly stays with me from this story is not the betrayal, but the quiet strength that followed. True self-respect often speaks in a calm voice, not a loud one. It is about drawing a line with dignity when your trust is broken. You cannot control another person's choices, but you are always in charge of your own peace. Choosing that peace over chaos is one of the bravest things you can do. Healing is not about forgetting what happened. It is about learning that you deserve honesty and consistency, first from yourself and then from others. Remember to be kind to yourself through the process. I hope this serves as a reminder that your well-being is worth protecting. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.